What's good, y'all? It's your boy Juice Savvy. So I fixed my camera, but we got this woman here talking about nonchalant men, and I've done this before, but this is an interesting take. I'm gonna give my thoughts on it as always. Let's go.
Literally think that I figured it out. I figured out why this generation of men are so insecure and where the whole nonchalant act comes from. So I think the whole nonchalant act is basically a control tactic because what's happening is that man is probably fearful of the woman being able to leave him at any moment that she wants because God forbid a woman is in control of her emotions. God forbid a woman is okay with being independent because that makes men terrified. That makes a lot of men terrified because if she's in control of her emotions, she can't be manipulated. She can't be manipulated. I can't trick you into liking me. Some men have self esteem that is so low that they feel like the only way that the woman could actually like them is if they're able to manipulate her into liking him. Like some men think it's literally impossible for them to be liked. Only way that they could believe that you actually like them is if they are able to manipulate you, if they are able to control your emotions. Because the one that you let have control over your emotions, they can literally do anything. They can do anything and you'd stay. Men do.
I think the main thing she's saying here, I break it down further, is the difference between emotional control and emotional suppression. But let's keep going.
Not want women to have control over their emotions because she can't be manipulated. And so men try to play on this nonchalant act to make you more drawn in, to get you to chase, because they know logically if they get you to invest more emotional density, then you will be addicted to them in a sense. And the reason why it doesn't feel masculine, it's because they're trying to flip back what women do to them on us. Women don't purposely go out and be nonchalant towards men to attract them. We just be ourselves in our own element. But we
The thing is, a man can do the same thing. He can be himself in his own element. So that point's kind of invalid.
can't help but be magnetic because that is our very essence, is just being. So they try
A
to
man
do
can do that too.
that, but to us, and that's why it's so unattractive because it's in a sense very feminine.
She has the right idea, but the wrong message a little bit. So I do agree with her. I'm not arguing against her all the way. I think that some men do fake nonchalance. She's definitely right about that. It's not. I always say just be who you are. Don't be somebody you're not to perform. Because I feel like if you're acting nonchalant, you're trying to perform to get the woman to like you when you should just show up as your authentic masculine self, right? This topic is only popular because the men that they really want are 9 times out of 10 harder to control, and they probably act more nonchalant. They're more grounded in their energy. They know who they are, right? So there's a difference between acting indifferent and actually being centered, which is that's the difference between manipulation and just being mature. You know what I mean? So real masculine men, there's no tactics, right? They're secure with themselves, so that shows up in how they move, and naturally they're probably not going to be as needy. They're not going to be as chalant, as you say. So I think a lot of women aren't used to men who have that control, that emotional control, right? So they see it as, oh, he's just nonchalant, but it's really not the case, right? And again, the men that they want is the one that they complain about the most, right? So these women complain about these nonchalant guys. It's like, well, they got to be doing something right. You know what I mean? But again, don't be somebody you're not. But the way she framed it was, got my points here for y'all. She framed it like men act calm to keep a woman chasing, right? But I think attraction often arises from like the guys who don't get emotionally swayed. Women are attracted to the men who can be centered, right? So it's like it's always a power and a energy dance, right? Who has learned to be calm in any scenario? Usually men are, right? And women are very attracted to that. So men have learned sometimes like the hard way, over pursuing, like it kills the attraction, right? So that's why men, we know from learned experience that that doesn't work. It doesn't work. Over pursuing a woman, chasing her, all these things, it doesn't work. They say yearning for a woman, it doesn't really work anymore, okay? And again, I'm not, it's probably, maybe this is toxic advice, but you don't need to do all those things, right? Just have control of yourself and know what you want. And if you want this woman, then you go for it, right? But you don't have to over pursue. You know what I mean? So I think men acting like emotionless out of fear, because she did say that, like men kind of act nonchalant because they're scared. Like that is definitely, if a guy's doing that, that's definitely coming from a place of insecurity, not strength. But if it's coming from a place of discipline and groundedness, that's just him being a masculine guy. You know what I mean? So I think women mistake that sometimes. You know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense. The real problem is that we have to get to the root motive of why a man acts nonchalant, right? Is it really to perform, or is it really just who he is as a man? You know what I mean? So, I think if you were to be on one end of the spectrum, I would say it's better to just be more like grounded and nonchalant than to be a guy who's chasing and over pursuing, right? Because as we know, that does not work. Okay. And again, the men that they want are the ones they complain about the most sometimes, right? Those are guys who are getting all the benefits. So, um, yeah, I mean, she said that it can't. She said that it can't help but be magnetic, but grounded men have their own magnetic presence, right? So it's how she said that, women can just go out and just do their thing, and she basically just said like, let things come to them or whatever she said. They can just go out and just be cool. Men can have the same thing and have the same presence. You know what I mean? It's not unlikely. I mean, it can be, but it's not unlikely for a man to just have a presence about him that attracts people, right? You see that, you see it online. I'm sure you know people like that, where they just have a presence about them that naturally attracts people in. Okay, so I don't think it's unlikely for a man to have that type of energy that a woman can have. You know what I mean? So again, the guy she really wants, the probably the attractive guy, he's got options. That's the guy that she's complaining about, who's acting nonchalant or not. Again, I don't condone nobody to act nonchalant. Just be grounded, okay? That's sometimes women mistake be a grounded man for being nonchalant. A man who just simply is, okay? So if you could just simply be as a man and not really worry too much about what a woman thinks of you, the outcome of the scenario, that's where you want to be, right? That's very attractive energy versus the guy who's being performative and putting on a front to be someone who's not, because the woman's going to stamp that out. You don't have to put on an act to get a woman. Just be who you are, level up, and become the best version of yourself for you. And the right woman will just naturally come along. Women will always be here. You don't have to perform for any one woman. All right, y'all. So I hope that what I said actually made sense, because I broke it down a little deeper. Because I feel like what she was trying to say was the difference between emotional control and emotional suppression or manipulation, right? So that's it for the video, y'all. I hope I got some value from this. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.